I have personally reviewed more golf bags than just about anyone on the planet. So regardless of what you are looking for, I've got a golf bag that is probably going to be a great fit for you. Today, I'm giving you the rundown of all of my current favorite golf bags that are on the market. We're talking hybrid bags, cart bags, walking bags, kids bags, waterproof bags, you name it. No matter what type of bag you're looking for and no matter what your budget is, today we're going to have a golf bag for you. And make sure you stick around to the end of the video because that is when I'm going to tell you the bag that I am personally using the most these days. Let's not waste any time, let's get right into it. We're gonna come right out of the gate with a heavy hitter and go with the best carry bag. And for that, I'm going with the Jones Rover Stand. This is the bag that has made me want to walk more rounds on the golf course. On top of being just one of the coolest golf bags out there, it's one of the best looking bags, it's one of the lighter golf bags out there, and it's super functional as well. Every time I take my Jones Rover out, I've got the sage and black colorway. I always get compliments, I always get people asking what bag it is, and it is the bag that has just made me want to carry my clubs more often. One thing that's been the case over the last year with many of the bags on this list is they have gotten more expensive. Thanks, tariffs. So at $295, this is not the cheapest carry bag out there, but a couple things to keep in mind. One, Jones does sales like 3 or 4 times a year, so keep an eye out for sale prices. Also, Jones is pretty good about discounting closeout models. So you'll often see new colorways a couple times a year, so if you check out the sales page on their website, you can often get a much better deal than the retail price. So as I record this right now, they've got a couple colorways you can get for $230, which makes that a killer value for an excellent carry golf bag. Okay, next up is another personal favorite of mine, and that is the best hybrid bag, and for that we're going with the Vessel Player 5 Pro. What is a hybrid bag? A hybrid bag is for the golfer out there who likes to walk. They like to use a push cart. They like to use a power cart. They're not necessarily using the same form of golf transportation for every round they play. The Player 5 Pro is a little bit bigger than previous Player models, and because of that bigger size, it's definitely more conducive to using on a cart than some previous bags were. There's a ton of storage in this bag, it looks really good, and as with all Vessel bags, the quality and materials are awesome. I personally think this is also one of the best looking golf bags out there, so for most of my rounds, I am using a push cart, and I have found this to be an excellent bag for that as well. The knock you will find on most Vessel bags, but this one in particular, is that it is heavy. And so if you predominantly carry, like if you're carrying 80 to 90% of your rounds, I probably would not go with this bag, despite the fact the equilibrium straps are excellent, it distributes weight great, it definitely doesn't feel quite as heavy as its weight would suggest, but it is a little bit big if you're someone who carries most of your rounds. That being said, if you've got a pretty even split of carry, push cart, and cart, this is one of the very best bags out there. All right, next up, we have the best looking bag, and obviously this is a very subjective thing, but for my money, I think the best looking bag currently on the market is the Mountain Matchplay. You could also call this one of the most underrated bags because I cannot believe we don't see more of them considering how good of a bag it is and how good it looks. So I've got the original Matchplay that is in all green that came out a little over a year ago. There has been a very light refresh recently, but the bottom line is you just don't see this bag. It looks good, it uses very high quality materials. The quilted hip pad just exudes a luxury feel, and this is a bag that I continue to pull out on a regular basis when my wife hasn't stolen it from me. This has now become her go-to bag because of all the golf bags I've got, this is the one that she likes the best. The newest model has gotten a price bump. It jumped up from $369 to $415, but as we currently sit, you can still find some closeout deals on some of those older models. And like I said, the difference is negligible. Like if you're looking at photos, you can hardly tell the difference between these two bags. The only difference is that closeout price you can find for as low as $280 versus the new one, which is $415. So that is a pretty killer deal for what is essentially the same bag, minus a few different color options and some very minor updates. This bag is the successor to the Sun Mountain Mid-Stripe, which was my previous pick for most underrated bag. So if you can find any of those still on closeout sales, that is also an awesome looking, very underrated bag. All right, next up is a little bit of a niche pick with best waterproof bag. So for me, I'm in the Pacific Northwest, 6 months out of the year. Well, you're gonna have some variable conditions, and my pick for that is the Sunday Golf Storm Ryder. So there are a lot of different versions of the Sunday Ryder bag. They've got a premium leather version, they've got the standard version, they've got the waterproof version. In all of its iterations, it is a really solid bag. This is a brand that does a really good job of appealing to younger golfers, but as this company has matured, their products have continued to get better and better. I personally love the all black look of this bag, and when I've used it out in the rain, it has done exactly what I'd hoped it would do. keep everything dry. The only negative thing I noted in my initial review is that the front ball pocket is the only one that doesn't have taped zippers, so that front pocket is not going to be as waterproof as the rest of the bag, and I suppose that's probably just because your balls don't need to be waterproof. So outside of that, it is a wonderful bag, and the material they use also makes it a particularly durable bag as well. So if you're looking for a bag that's just going to last a while and not have material that's going to rip, this is also a good choice for that. So Sunday is one of those brands that always does some weird stuff with their pricing. It's listed as $329 MSRP, but you will pretty much always be able to find it for $299. If you click on the link below and you add the bag to your cart, you will then be prompted with an additional 15% off that's going to have some version of my name. Rather than using a generic promo code that could potentially be leaked around the internet, this is a new system. So anyway, if you click the link, you add to cart, you should be able to get a coupon code that's going to drop it another 15%, which is going to bring it down to $255. And whether you want a waterproof bag or not, this is a great bag at that price. Hey, real quick, not sure which bag is right for you? Go take our 30-second quiz. You're gonna answer a few questions around what bag you are looking for, and I'm gonna give you my best recommendation based on the bag that is the best fit for your needs. I will link to that below, and now let's get back to the video. All right, next up is most customizable. If you're someone who always likes to switch things out, you hate feeling like you're using the same bag day in and day out, or you know 6 months from now you're gonna want something a little bit different, then you might take a look at the Stitch Golf SL2 Make It Yours, or MiY. So this is a really unique bag. It's not to be confused with their traditional SL2, which is their most popular bag. This has been completely redesigned, so now the storage all sits in a saddle that's kind of around the bottom of the bag. But here's what's unique about it. You buy it in 3 different pieces. So you buy the bag itself, and you can pick your color. Then you can buy the double strap, and you can pick your color. And then you buy the saddle. This is where all the storage is, and you can pick a different color there too. So essentially, you can fully customize what you want the look of this bag to be. But here's what's great about it. Let's say 6 months from now, you're like, I'm tired of this baby blue and I want black. You can just go buy a new saddle and it attaches to the bag that you already bought. So if you wanted a different color or a different pattern or a different looking golf bag every single time you went out to golf, you could do that with this bag. It's really a cool idea, and it came out a couple years ago, and one of my concerns was that they weren't going to keep supporting it. They weren't going to keep rolling out new saddles and new straps and new colors, but I'm happy to report that they have been doing that, and there are now quite a few options. So if you're looking at the retail price of this bag, you're going to buy each of those pieces kind of separately but together, but to buy the straps, the saddle, and the bag, you're looking at $448, and honestly, that's a little steep for this golf bag, but you can use the code BE20 and it's gonna knock 20% off of that, bringing it down to $358. At that price, I think this is a really good value for this type of bag that is very unique, and it's just not one you're going to see out on the course very often. So similar to the Mountain Matchplay, if you want something cool and functional that looks good that not many people are going to have, I think this is an excellent choice. Alternatively, if you like the way this bag looks, you like the layout, but you don't need all the fancy make it yours stuff, you can go get the Stitch Airwalker, which is $298 retail, but use that code, it drops it down to $238. And at $238, that's a really solid value for the lightest full-featured golf bag that Stitch makes. Okay, so now the reality is not all of you are going to be walking on the golf course or using a push cart. Some of you only ride in a golf cart, and so that's why I've got 2 picks for the best cart bags. So for the best luxury cart bag, you want the best of the best looking, the best materials, the most storage, then I would go with the brand new Vessel Lux Pro Cart 2. This just came out. This is the newest version of their cart bag, and it is the bag that makes me wish I were a cart bag guy. Every time I use this bag, I love it. I love the storage, I love the features, and I love the way it looks. But at $519, that is a lot of money. It is worth noting though, there is a non-pro version of this that doesn't have quite as much storage, and it doesn't have some of the magnetic pockets that the Pro has, but otherwise is pretty much the same bag, and you can pick it up for $469. So while that is objectively still a lot of money to spend on a golf bag, it is almost just as good as the Pro, and if you don't need the extra storage, I think it is still an excellent choice. If you're looking for more of a budget option, then I definitely recommend the Sunday Golf Big Rig. One of the things I thought was so cool about this bag is Sunday went to Reddit. They basically said, we're trying to build the best cart bag we can. What features would you like to see? They got over 1,000 responses to that question, and then they took all of the most wanted features and they put it in the cart bag. Some of these things were full-length dividers, a dedicated putter well, space for a 6-pack of beer, a smell-proof pocket for whatever you might want to put in a smell-proof pocket. But the bottom line is they did a really good job, and this is a really good bag for the price. Again, as I mentioned with Sunday, this bag retails for $329. You can usually find it for $299. Use the link, get the code. $255. That is the final price, and $255 for this cart bag and all of the features that it has is an excellent deal. Okay, next up we're going with classic for a reason, and that is the Ping Hoofer. The Ping Hoofer for decades has been the ultimate golf carry bag. The weight is fantastic, the layout is fantastic, and now there's a lot of different variations of the Hoofer. Some are lighter, some are heavier, there's all these different things out here, but the original Ping Hoofer and the moderate iterations that have been made on it over the years continue to reinforce the fact that this is one of the best golf bags ever made. As you find with this list, I personally shy away from a lot of the big name brands, Ping, TaylorMade, Titleist. Like, I don't want that stuff kind of plastered all over my golf bag, so I tend to lean towards more boutique bags or smaller companies that specialize in bags. The Ping Hoofer is the exception to that. This is the golf bag that inspired a lot of the newer, more modern golf bags that we're seeing from other brands, and it is still just as good as ever. This bag retails for $275, but considering it's from Ping, one of the biggest manufacturers out there, you're gonna find it at a lot of big box stores, which often are the places where you're going to be able to find bigger discounts. So even though I've seen prices for different versions of this bag at $275, even up to like $290, almost $300, I would guess during the holidays, you're probably gonna be able to find it for quite a bit cheaper than that. Hey, sorry to interrupt, just wanna let you know one thing. If you click any of the links below or if you use any of the coupon codes, you probably already know this, I may receive a commission on that. If you think that makes me biased, I totally get it. Go do your own research, but I truly do not care whether you buy any of these bags or not. My whole goal is just to help you find the right bags for your needs based on all of the testing I have done. If you did get value out of this and you do decide to buy one of these bags, then clicking those links or using those coupon codes allows me to continue to do this testing and make videos like this for you. So thank you so much for watching, regardless of what you choose to do, and let's get right back to it. Next up, we have Best Sunday Bag. So if you don't know what a Sunday bag is, it's a smaller bag that does not hold a full set of clubs. So if you're playing a short course, if you're going to the driving range, if you're just doing a little emergency 9 and you don't need your full set, you don't want to carry a big bag around, these are the scenarios when you would use a Sunday bag. Now, you might think, given the name of the company is Sunday Golf, that I would go with them for the best Sunday bag. And to be clear, they have some great Sunday bags. But honestly, for me, for my money, I'm actually going with a different brand. I'm going to go with Jones because they have two different bags that I think are excellent for this purpose. The first is the Jones Player Series bag. I love this bag. There is no stand, there's very little structure. This looks like a bag that came straight out of the 70s. You have one leather strap, you carry it around, and then you set it on the ground. There's no stand, there's no legs. This thing is old school, but it looks so cool. And it is so functional for that type of round. If you're only throwing 6-7 clubs in there and a handful of balls, this bag is perfect, and it feels like the most purest form of golf you can have. I love using this bag whenever I have the opportunity to do so. But if that's a little too purist for you, you want more of a modern bag, you want a stand, you just don't want it to be as big and heavy and as bulky, well, they just released the new short course bag. So this is modeled after and looks very similar to their full-size trooper or carry bag Rover. It's just smaller and condensed, and it's less expensive at under $200. This is the newest bag from Jones. It just came out in fall of 2025, and if you've been around golf for a while, Jones, all the coolest people I know usually end up using Jones bags. It's that combination of function, history, style, looks. It's just really appealing, and that's part of why I love the brand. So depending on what you're looking for, I think either of these would make excellent Sunday bags. And if you're looking for the ultimate value, you don't want to spend $200 on a Sunday bag, you might go check out the Sunday Loma. This was the original bag that Sunday made. I think it looks a little funny because it's very small and very skinny, but you can pick it up for right around $100. So that makes it one of the least expensive bags in this video. Okay, next we have Best Kids Bag. If you're trying to get your kid into golf, let me tell you a secret. Get them a cool bag that they are excited to use, and they will be very excited to go golf with you. And for that, we're going back to Sunday with their Recess bag. So I got this bag for my 4-year-old daughter, Elliot, and while it's a little bit big for her, I think this is going to be a better fit for probably 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds. She loves this thing. The pink checkerboard design looks awesome, and every time we go to the course, she can't wait to use her fancy pink golf bag. I'm honestly kind of surprised that we haven't seen better golf bags for kids. Usually the options I see are when you're buying a small set of 3 clubs for your kid and it comes with just some generic ugly bag. And while a lot of kids probably aren't going to know better or they're not going to care, if you give them something that is unique, that fits their style, then they're going to be even more excited to go play, which hopefully means you're going to get to go play more as well. I know that has been the case for me, and I'm very thankful for it. So after discounts, this bag comes in right under $130, which can be a lot of money to invest in a kid's bag if you don't think your kid is actually going to want to play golf. But the quality, the features, the looks, all that combined really made this an easy choice for best kids bag. Also, I just realized this, there's actually 2 sizes. They have one size for 5 to 8-year-olds and a slightly bigger size for 9 to 12-year-olds. So regardless of how old your kids are, this is going to be a great bag up until early teenage years. All right, we got one more, and then I'm going to share with you the bag that I have been using the most personally this season. So before we get to that, we're talking the best travel bag. And so I've got a whole dedicated video and blog post to this that I will link to below because there really isn't a perfect travel bag. So far, everyone I've used has had different compromises, so you got to figure out which one is most important to you. That being said, I will say the one that I have been using the most this year is the Sun Mountain Club Glider Meridian, and I've been using it for one specific reason: the Club Glider feature. So what's so cool about this is there's literally an extra set of wheels. So you pull down, you pull out, and you are good to go. This will allow you to literally take this thing around an airport with one finger. Like, I'm not exaggerating. I can give it to my 4-year-old. She can easily pull this thing anywhere it wants to go. And if I've got like a heavy backpack and I've got a suitcase, just not having to hold up the entire weight of my travel bag is so nice. The downside of this bag is I wouldn't say it's the absolute most durable, and it definitely does not have the absolute most space. So if you're someone who wants the most durable, I would probably look at a Club Glove bag. And if you're looking for a bag with the most space, then I would look at the Sunday Golf Coaster bag. That's actually the bag I've used on my last 2 trips, and the fact it has this giant exterior removable pouch that you can easily fit 3 pairs of shoes in is so nice. I still gravitate towards the ease of the Club Glider, but when I'm going on a longer trip and I know that I need to cram as much stuff in my travel bag as I can, that Sunday is a great option as well. The Sunday is generally the cheaper option. You're looking at $276 after discounts. The retail on the Sun Mountain is $380, but since this bag has been out for a while, if you do a little bit of research online, it seems like you can find older models for significantly cheaper than that, so do a little bit of research. And now that brings us to the bag that I have personally used the most this season, and that is the Vessel Lux Stand. So for the last couple of years, my kind of 2 go-to bags personally were the Vessel Player 5 Pro or the Jones Rover, depending on if I was walking or if I was going to be riding or using a push cart. And then the Lux Stand came out. So this bag is, for all intents and purposes, it's like the Player 5 Pro, but like 25% smaller. The layout is almost identical. All of the high-end features, high-end build quality, it's all still there, and it looks excellent. I got mine in a dark forest green that I think is one of the best looking bags out there. And I had this realization as I was testing that bag that I just didn't need all of the space that the Player 5 Pro gave me. I would fill it up. I could pack so much stuff into that bag, but then things are getting lost when I have to carry, it's too heavy. I love the bag. I just don't need all the space. And so this bag, what I found, it kind of gives me all of the benefits of that while just being a little bit more manageable, a little bit smaller, and looking just as good, if not better. While it's still definitely not the lightest bag, I have found it easy to carry. On my most recent trip, I went to Nova Scotia for a week with my dad, where we were going to be doing a mix of riding in carts and using caddies. So my initial thought was to bring the Player 5 Pro to have a little bit more space and camera gear and all of that stuff, but I realized caddies hate that bag, and when I took the Lux Stand to Ballyneal and used caddies for 4 rounds earlier this summer, they were thrilled. It was the first time I'd ever seen a caddy that was happy about carrying a Vessel golf bag. So this, for me, I've just found to hit a sweet spot in terms of looks, material, storage. There are times that I do wish it had a little bit more storage. The garment pocket in particular, I wish was just a little bit bigger, but for the most part, under most circumstances, I feel like it is a more manageable version of the Player 5 Pro. Also, if you like the idea of this, but the weight still feels like just a little bit too much, Vessel just released the Vessel Player Air, which is pretty much the same bag. It just uses slightly different materials that are lighter weight. So the layout's the same, using it's the same, it just has a little bit more of a high-tech look as opposed to more of a traditional look, but there is a pretty significant weight saving, so if you're someone who carries all of your rounds, this could be a great alternative to either the Lux Stand or that Jones Rover that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. So with that, those are my current picks for all the golf bags that are out there that I would consider getting under all of those different use cases. But I want to hear from you. What bag are you using? What bag are you interested in? Is there a bag that you love or a bag that you hate? Do you agree with my list? Drop a comment and let me know. My name is Sean Ogle. I'm the founder of this thing here at Breaking 80, where we talk about cool golf products and cool golf courses. If you got some value out of this, maybe consider hitting the subscribe button, drop a comment, thumbs up, do all those YouTube-y things, and the fact you made it this far in the video, that means a lot, so thank you. With that, I will link to some related content below. I will link to all my dedicated reviews of these bags. I also regularly update my general best golf bags video on breaking80.com, so if you're watching this video like 6 months after it's published, go check that out, because every time a new bag comes out that I think is worth putting on this list, I will update it there first, because I only do videos like this a couple times a year. So with that, go check out those links, let me know if you have any questions, and have an excellent day. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.